Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Stardom Review. I am your co-host, Andre C, and here to my, I guess you're right on screen, my left as I point, is my co-host, Melball. How you doing today, Melball?
Oh, I cannot complain, Andre. We have taken in some incredible wrestling this week. It's a nice, brisk winter day here in Edmonton. It's not too cold. It's not too snowy. The roads are safe. We can't complain about that. How are we doing today, Andre?
I'm doing pretty good. I been up for a few hours now, recorded some content before this. You will have already seen on our Twitch channel. It was myself, Ed, our good buddy old Ed, and Cody Defoe. We did a review of Black Panther, which you can find on the OLE Twitch channel. And I think Ed's going to have to put up somewhere else afterwards. So, yeah, check that out, please, and thank you. But, yeah, I watched some great professional wrestling this last week or so, and it's some great content, and I am excited to talk about it. And this week we are talking about the first four nights of the 12th annual Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Tournament. Mel, we have been doing tournament after tournament after tournament. Have we not, since we started this? We started this with a tournament.
We did. We did started this with the Grand Prix tournament with Stardom. Now we're moving into the Goddess of Stardom. This is such an incredible way, though, to introduce people who don't know about Stardom to the Stardom wrestlers in fun little combinations of like almost micro factions within the major factions of Stardom.
Very
Very
much
fun,
so.
very exciting, very fun combinations of women. Man, the incredible matches we've been subjected to.
Subjected almost seems bad in a sense when you say it. But we have not. It has been a great time to watch almost all of these matches. I don't think I've had a complaint on any match, and I usually complain about a Wade or tie. I'm not complaining about them in these first 4 days. Now, if they get back to the regular crap, maybe I will. But so we are going to go through each night. I will give you the results on every show, and we each have picked one match each that we are going to break down for you that we really think you should check out on the night. So starting on the October 23rd show, we have, starting in the Red Goddess division, we have My Fair Lady, Lady C, and Mai Sakurai taking on I Love Tokyo Sports, Saki, Kashima, and Fukigen Death. This match was a very fun time, and I'm very creeped out by Fukigen Death every time I see her. But in the end, Mai Sakurai accidentally hit Lady C in the face with the newspaper that I Love Tokyo Sports had, and Fukigen Death rolled up Lady C to get the win. And after the match, Lady C and Mai Sakurai were actually fighting with each other. They were fighting with each other throughout the night because they are actually from two different factions, from Queen's Quest and Donna Del Mundo. So they were fighting throughout the night, and yeah, they were not happy.
Yeah, correct. Mai Sakurai and Lady C both came up kind of in that young lion kind of thing together and picked their respective factions about the same time. So they were kind of working together before, but then separated into their factions. It was very obvious and apparent the lack of unity that they have as a team, and that they were pretty much arguing from the moment they came through the curtain to the moment they went back through the curtain. I do agree with the clown. Clown creeps me out, but Fukigen Death, I mean, she is like Groot, as I've mentioned before in the past, death, Fukigen Death. It amuses me. You can't hate Groot.
It's the screaming that I don't like. It's the screaming that she does in the match that I don't care for. And it just creeps me out with the makeup. It just disturbs me. But we move on to the Blue Goddess division, and we get Wild Venus, is the team of Mina, Shirakawa, and Saki, who were making her sticking around in Stardom for a little bit, I guess, at least for this tournament, taking on the team of BMI 2000, the returning Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. And man, like I said, I've been a critical person on a way to tie, but there was only one spot in this match that bothered me. It was when they hit her with when they hit Mina with the case, I think, and they did it right in front of the ref, and the ref didn't DQ them, and that was what really got me. But in the end, Tora and Ruaka get disqualified for choking both Mina and Saki at the same time with a pipe, and but being very dominant in their first match, even though in a loss, looking like a powerhouse team.
Absolutely. Natsuko Tora coming back from that torn ACL with an absolute vengeance, and coming into that match with grudge match with Utami Hayashi Shida, man, these women, she's come back with a bone to pick with a few people by the looks of some of the matches that we're still gonna talk about here. Um, but you're absolutely right. 100% dominant from start to finish. Despite taking the loss of those 2 points, they made a statement with this match. And I think the statement was very loud and clear. They just put the rest of the division on notice.
Very, very much so. So we move on to the third match on the show, and that is in the Blue Goddess division. It's O2 Line, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki taking on the team of one of my favorite people in this company, Iida, and known as Wayne Gory. This match was very good, a great showcase for the young ladies in Wingori, but the end of the match did come with Saya and Hanana go for the heart attack, and then Saya goes for the suplex, but Azumi reverses it into a La Mystica and gets the armbar and then turns it into a pinfall, pinning Saya Iida, and the O2 Line get the first 2 points in the tournament.
This was actually one of the matches we discussed that we actually saw Miyu, despite struggling in the past, starting to really get better, come into her own, and find that chemistry with the other women. We have seen her wrestle with Hanan before in the past. It was a little iffy in the one-on-one, but this tag opportunity that Miyu has been given with Azumi has been tremendously beneficial to her. Not to take away from Hanan or Saida, as I mentioned before, their intro is adorably choreographed. It's one of my favorite parts of Stardom is how each of these girls kind of take on these little kind of personas within their personas. I absolutely loved it. This match was incredible, very very high speed, surprisingly so, because usually Iida likes to keep the pace a lot slower. She was keeping up with these girls, no problem. This match was very very good.
But you're in there with the high speed champion. It's gonna go quick, simple as that. So we move on to the next match of the evening, and it is in the Red Goddess division. It is the team of Karate Brave, and that is Syuri and Tomoka Inaba. I was missing that name. taking on another team representing Oedo Tai, and that's Black Desire of Momo Watanabe and the Starlight Kid. This was a great showing, but we'll get into it when we talk about them a little later. There's some issues I've got with Karate Brave, but in the end, Inaba gets a huge kick, and then she's setting up for another one when the bell just rings out of nowhere, and it's over. 15-minute draw, so each of these teams only take 1 point each in the draw.
And good for them. I mean, what a match this was. It was just go, 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 go. All of these women, especially Oedo Tai. I mean, there was that amount of cheating that we expect from them, but it wasn't to the extent that we usually see it from. It actually was a straight out wrestling match for them by the end of it. I really enjoyed this match. I really enjoy how it's very obvious also in this match who the heels and who the faces were at the end. You know, they're disappointed with that time limit draw, but obviously Karate Brave not gonna, not take the points, but you could tell Momo and Starlight Kid definitely disappointed by that only 1 point game.
Yeah, especially for Starlight Kid, who's been a really high end and excelling in this company for the last few years. Really, one of the people, most people that don't know Stardom that well, hear that name and they know that's about Stardom. So it's like you see why it's very disappointing for her. But we move on to Mel's pick for the night. It is in the Blue Goddess division. It is Meiha. My Himi, the team of Himeka and Maika taking on Amy Sohrei and Mirai, and I don't have their team name in here.
The New Eras.
The New Eras. There it is. I found it. Yeah, they are the New Era. And yeah, Mel, you want to take it away with this is your highlight match of the night.
This match was what I considered, the female version of big men meat hitting big men meaty meat.
Big men meat slapping.
That's the one. Just 4 absolute powerhouses, not just in their factions, but in the entire company. These are the 4 women who would be some of your strongest hitting women. The opening sequence with all 4 of these women not giving an inch to each other, just going back and forth, forearm for forearm, with the eventual Himeka taking out Mirai and Ami taking out Maika to leave them in the ring. Incredible start for these women. There was one point where Mirai actually had to muscle up Maika for a suplex, and man, you could see the struggle on her, but man, did she work hard to get her up, and she got her up and dropped her down perfectly. Mirai is definitely one of my favorites. She's again, I call her the quiet riot. She doesn't say much on promo, but she shows up and shows out every single time. This woman is the definition of consistency. Um, there was also a sliding front and back lariat done by Maika and Himeka on Ami. Crazy effective. It definitely took a lot of the wind out of Ami going into the rest of the match. There was a superplex that Maika was attempting to do on Mirai when Ami got involved. Or sorry, on Maika was trying to do it on Ami. Mirai got involved, tried to prevent the superplex, only to have her legs just completely lariated out from underneath her by Himeka, which allowed Maika to actually get the superplex on Ami. Maika then follows up with an everything is Maika, as opposed to everything is evil, but with the cross arms. Then they just had this sequence where it was lariats for everybody, just clearing the entire ring, all the women down. It was utterly insane. The end of it, though, Maika does end up getting that pin on Ami. This match was utterly incredible. Just a powerhouse versus powerhouse kind of match. Andre, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I absolutely, I thought this was, again, like you said, big girl meat slapping, I guess is what we're going to say. And I really thought they did a wonderful job. Just the power from Himeka is insanity. But I will say this, when that finish and Maika's Michinoku driver too, a lot of girls in this company do use that move. But in my opinion, Maika's one of the best ones doing it.
100%.
Yeah.
So from here, match,
yeah. From here, we're going to move on to what is, my pick for October 20th. I couldn't read where it was, and then I realized it was down the bottom corner because I couldn't find a proper spot to put it. Running it over people's faces. And that is Mafia Bella, Giulia, and Thekla, the returning Thekla, taking on Meltier, the current Stardom Goddess Tag Team Goddess Champions, or Goddess of Stardom Champions, Natsupoi and Tam Nakano. I absolutely love it. I will say this, when it first happened, I'm missing the braids from Giulia. I will say that. I love the braids that she had during the 5-star, but those are her 5-star braids. I get it. But man, both these women, like the power that you had from Thekla, who's tiny but powerful, and then Giulia just showing her power off as she always does. Absolutely phenomenal. Giulia, when she pulls back and hits that curb stomp, just I just imagine the curb being around, and she would just wreck those teeth, and she would just wreck you with that stomp. But yeah, and just some of the kicks coming off of Thekla were crazy cool, good. Like the Yakuza kick she was hitting and everything. But then to the other side of it all is Natsupoi and Tam Nakano, who I am a huge fan of both these girls. I absolutely love it. They're legitimately, to me, the cutest tag team in the world. You can't help but say that they truly are. And just the speed coming off both these ladies, like Tam, the knee, she hits like a knee to the head. She comes off top hitting a knee to the head. I think it was of Giulia, and then get Natsupoi getting the Alexa Bliss, I think it's the fairy splash. I can't remember. She flips and spins in the air and lands on her, and just the beauty and the speed and what these girls do is wonderful. And it just. It's all these girls have such good color, but I will always shout out that kneeling spin kick by Natsupoi is something I've never seen any other girl do, and I love the innovation in that. But at the end did come where Giulia did get Tam where Giulia got Natsupoi into the figure 4, and then leans forward and grabs her into a chokehold while applying the modified figure 4. And at this same point, Thekla did have Tam Nakano in the octopus stretch, and Natsupoi had no choice because they were dead center of the ring. She had no choice but to tap out, and Mafia Bella getting their first 2 points of this tournament.
One thing I did note throughout this particular match, Thekla especially struggling with her feelings towards Natsupoi. Natsupoi obviously was a part of the faction with Giulia Donna Del Mondo until recently, where she did have her almost seeming blood feud with Tam Nakano before leaving Donna Del Mondo to join Tam Nakano in Cosmic Angels. There was a lot of emotion behind Thekla, especially in this one. I almost feel like Giulia was trying to be that, leader to be like, nope, we got this, we're going forward. There was still some emotion, especially at the end of the match when the decision had come. But yeah, definitely Thekla struggling a lot emotionally throughout this match, and I did feel that it added to the overall intensity of the showdown.
Yeah, again, this is new knowledge to me. You just let me know about this recently,
Mhm.
like after I'd seen this match, and I looking back at it, yeah, I really see the anger and the hatred almost in Thekla at Natsupoi, and that anger. And when you see her attacking her, she's really laying into her on
Mhm.
that situation there. But yeah,
Mhm.
so and then your main event of the evening, it is FWC. Excuse me, Hazuki and Koguma from Stars. You taking on Seven Ups. Nane Takeshi, Nane Takashi, not Takahashi, and you from the newly formed Neo Stardom Army. The end of this match
Mhm.
came where Koguma actually was hit with a double Razor's Edge, and Nane hit a frog splash, and Nane got the pin and the win. Again, in it, like we saw with BMI, this is Seven Up showing dominance in this match and trying to really show out that these two ladies are here to fight, and this is a really, for me personally, watching Nane, a really rehabbing for her.
This was definitely almost like a resurrection for her because we have discussed it privately before. Her one-on-one matches coming up so far recently have been, not unentertaining, but they've certainly been, I'll say, maybe lackluster in comparison to
Yeah,
what else has been going on the show. This her combination with you and this match in particular, um, them coming in as the veterans, Hazuki and Koguma being the reigning winners from last year. This was a statement match for them, and I think that the Seven Up knew that, and boy, did they ever make a statement with this one.
very, very much so. So, beginning, and we're going to quickly go through the where the point standings are very quickly. In the
Mm-hmm.
Red Goddesses, and you have Mafia, Bella, and We Love Tokyo Sports sitting on top with 2 points each. Then you have Karate Brave and Black Desire, each with 1 point due to the draw, and every other team with 0 points. Peach Rock, Aphrodite, Meltear, and My Fair Lady all with 0 points, but Peach Rock and Aphrodite both have not competed yet. And in the, sorry, I'm going to make that a little bigger for everybody. In the Blue Goddess division, you have Miami, then you have O2 Line, 7 Up, and Co Wild Venus, all with 2 points each getting a win in this opening night. And then you have BMI 2000, who did get that loss due to disqualification, do not rack up any points. FWC, Wingori, and the New Eras, all with 0 points. So I'm, as soon as I bring this thing back up, sorry, and we are moving on to the October 30th show, and we start out with Wingori taking on BMI 2000. This was actually, again, another real statement match from BMI 2000. Not to say that Hanan and Iida didn't get their own, didn't hold their own in this match, but it was true. You truly saw the domination, especially from Natsuko Tora in this one. You saw the real domination here. And
Mm-hmm.
Tora, in the end, did get the swanton off the top to hit Hanan and got the win here for BMI to pick up 2 more points on the second night of this tournament.
Hmm. Hmm. Something I did want to also kind of note with BMI 2000 is not to take away from the other teams, but the BMI 2000 is one of the few teams that actually coordinates their gear. FWC is another one in Hazuki and Koguma who always seem to be matching their gear. But that being said, Hanan's gear super cute. Same with Iida's. But I just appreciate the kind of camaraderie of tag teams when they dress more Alike. It just kind of
Mhm.
adds to the overall feel of it. But you're absolutely right. This again was a statement match for BMI 2000. The notice that they put the division on in their last match continues on with the result of this one.
Very much so. So we move on to the second of three matches on the October 30th show. At least three Blue Goddess matches, or the Goddess Tag Team titles, the Goddess Tournament matches. And you have my pick of O2 Lines, Azumi and Miyu Amasaki from Queen Quest taking on the FWC Hazuki and Koguma from Stars. Absolutely right out of the gate, this match was speed heavy, especially between Hazuki and Azumi. Yeah, words. But yeah, these two especially because they have been in a bit of a feud the last while. Like Azumi did take the high speed title from Hazuki, and so you see that, and then Koguma, I guess, was kind of more the powerhouse in this match, and I really, really did like how everybody kind of meshed together in this match. Koguma getting Miyu in her like camel clutch, bear clutch thing, and then instead of doing the bear thing, she was just like playing with Miyu's hair. It sounded like a little fun little comedy spot in the middle of it all early on in it. I really did like, but Miyu did get beat up a lot in this match, but she had a great spot where she did come back on Hazuki and get this beautiful pendulum DDT. I was like, oh, that absolutely gorgeous. But Azumi, like, just some of the great stuff she did in this match, and like this is beautiful head scissors. It was like she had grabbed the hand, I think it was of Koguma, and ran up and then came off and head scissored Hazuki, I think it was, and arm drag Ko, or it was the other way around. But again, just the smoothness of that was just purely beautiful. And then Koguma getting the DDT on Miyu, she went to the top, but was stopped. And then Azumi runs in and just arm drags Koguma off the top. Just again, the smoothness, and this is where Miyu ends up hitting this. It's a cross between a pedigree and an angel's wings, where she sat out like the angel's wing, but didn't lift it up. She kind of just like half hopped and sat down with it. It was like a sit out pedigree, and I really actually liked the variation on that move that she did. Again, it wasn't the implant buster or the angel's wing as people like to call it, but it wasn't quite the pedigree as she was sitting out with it, and I really did like that. The elevated MX combo from FWC on Miyu, and then Ko goes to the top and goes for the missile drop kick and gets it. But Azumi breaking up that pin, it's just, you never know where anything is coming in this match. Like, it was just crazy, like fast. But in the end, Hazuki got a big bicycle kick to Azumi, and then she picked her up, and then picked up Miyu, and Koguma gets the neckbreaker off the shoulder of Hazuki and goes to the top rope, and Koguma gets the splash on Miyu and picks up the win for FWC, getting points for FWC in this match.
I have very, very little to add to what you said, because you pretty much covered all of the good parts of the match. You're absolutely right, though. Miyu was getting very, very worked in this match, and I did note that there was one point getting towards the end, it looked like she just took too many moves in sequential, or like one right after the other. Where she was looking a bit gassed. She was sucking wind a little bit. She was hunched over a little bit. Didn't stop her from completing the match, and didn't stop her from trying to keep up with everything. So you got to commend her for that. Then also, like, I believe also there was a match recently where we saw Koguma taking on Azumi and the third person. I believe it was Starlight Kid.
No, that was Hazuki. That was Hazuki, Fukigen Death, and Azumi in a high-speed title match.
No, I'm talking about another one. With Koguma. Koguma is nicknamed the High-Speed Genius, and has had her fair run-ins with Azumi. Highly recommend you go back into the
maybe I'm just, my mind's admitting it today. But
there's been multiple triple threat matches for that high-speed championship because of just the high demand for it, and like rightfully so. I mean, look at the talent that is these women winning that title. Completely understandable.
Very much so. But we are going to move on to Mel's pick for the October 30th show, and that is the team of Aphrodite making their debut in the tournament right here, and that is Utami Hayashishida and Saya Kamitani from Queen's Quest taking on the team of We Love Tokyo Sports, the team of Saki Kashima and Fukigen Death from Oedo Tai. Mel, take it away.
I'm just going to, right before we get into talk about the match, I love the entrances and individual uniqueness of the entrances that all of these girls have. Aphrodite coming in with, again, a choreographed thing. Saya Kamitani nailing that backflip just effortlessly, showing why she is the Wonder of Stardom champion. Poor Utami completely bailing on it, trying to figure out how to do it. It was absolutely adorable. It really humanizes her because she's usually coming in like that dominant, strong-willed person. It adds a layer. Yeah, and she is, but it adds a level of diversity and dynamic to her. But then Kashima Saki and Fukigen Death, I mean, I have not heard the announcer ever squeal or scream because of these guys. He usually turns around, but he moves the microphone away from his face. Usually they attack him. This time they just turned around and threw the newspapers at him. He squealed and nearly barreled out of the ring. It was absolutely hilarious to get started. And that was before the the bell rang. Once the bell rang, the match was utterly incredible. I mean, Utami Hayashishida was the dominant force in this one. To be fair, she was not just physically the largest woman, but the most powerful and dominant one. She took very much control of this. There was one point where she had a phenomenal double drop kick to stop a double team that was happening on Kamitani. I do want to note that I know the newspapers aren't technically weapons, but it still amuses me that they use them and
rolled up. Those don't feel good rolled up. Somebody hitting you with them.
Yeah, exactly. But it's clearly not enough that the ref will disqualify you. That being said, Saya Kamitani and Utami Hayashishida, they work so well together. The absolute unity of the two of them, very reminiscent to me of LIJ in New Japan. There's just zero communication that needs to happen because they just know. They know exactly what the other is doing, where they're going to be, and how they're going to do it. Saya Kamitani, though, nailing Saki with the Star Crusher to pick up 2 points for Aphrodite. I love this match from start to finish. Even with the little comedy inserts in there, it just added to the overall entertainment of this match. Andre, what do you think?
Oh, I thought a wonderful match. The torture rack spot by Utami and the big boot by Saya Tasaki was actually a wonderfully beautiful spot. But then the end coming with with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows Magic Killer, then into the Star Crusher. I very much enjoyed the shout out back to Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows.
I know Carl Anderson. I don't know who that dum is that you keep mentioning with it, but I know the Magic Killer was done by Evil and Sonata, also of LIJ, who I've already described.
Thieves. I thought great match overall.
The kettle there. I mean, where did this come from?
I know.
Anyway.
So from here, we're going to give you a quick wrap up after the second night. We have Mafia Bella, Aphrodite, and We Love Tokyo Sports, all with 2 points coming out of this night. And then Karate Brave and Black Desire, each with 1 point after their draws on night one. And then Peace Rock actually has not competed yet, so sitting at 0. And then Meltier, however you want to call that one. I think it's more Meltier than Meltier.
I think Meltier.
Meltier and My Fair Lady, both with 0 points there. And then I should bring those up every time I bring them up. But in the Blue Goddess division, you have My Hemi, 7-Up, Wild Venus, the FWC, and O2 Line, and BMI 2000. 6 teams with 2 points in the Blue Goddess division after this night. Did I have that right? Do I have the right one up there? Yeah, so yeah, I do. But again, it's a little blocked by the QR code. Sorry to say. And then you have the New Arrows and Wingori both with 0 points after the second night. And then so we move on to, once I get that thing back up because it keeps getting blocked every time I do this. Move on to the November 5th show, and we start out with Mel's pick for the November 5th show.
Ooh, yes. I get all the power matches, don't I? I love these power matches. So one thing I did note about this one right away, though, very, very vocal match. And when I say vocal, I mean a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. It does add to the overall feel of it. This one was just a little bit louder than most. I did have to keep the volume pretty low, mostly because of Nane. Nane was very, very into this match, very passionate about this match. All four of these women, very obviously having a history with each other, as per their promos before the shows. Um, and very not nice to each other. This was a very aggressive match, very, very heavy hitting match. And again, as a power match, I'm not surprised. Nane catching a figure four on Mirai close to the beginning, where Yu was able to kind of follow up, bouncing off the ropes and hitting her with a, I think is a death from above, belly to belly drop on there. Very vicious, very personal match. Ami was able to get you in a Boston Crab, and not even in the regular one, the one where she has her on the thighs, which I thought was impressive for both of them. I did not expect you to be flexible enough to be able to do that, but she very pleasantly surprised me. Not very smart decision of Ami to go chop for chop with you.
No,
However, we
no.
mentioned privately you huge, powerful, mean, nasty sounding chop.
Sound like a gunshot.
Yeah, I would say almost shouting out one of your favorites, Will Ospreay has some of the loudest chops in the game. I would say that that's
Or
the
a Minoru
sound level is
Suzuki level.
comparable with you and Will Ospreay. So, something to keep in mind there, Mr. Ospreay. You might need a lady soon. Um, the atomic drop from Ami onto Nane looked super, super rough. I don't know what happened there. It just looked like she had a very sore bottom after that. There was one point in the match where Ami did seem a little lost. And almost didn't really know what to do. It seemed a little frustrating for Mirai, and it kind of seemed like there was a little bit of confusion going on for just a little brief moment. Um, there was um, a cannonball from you in the corner onto Mirai. Mirai still able to kick out after that cannonball. And I again, to bring up, comparison, our local favorite Cutthroat Colton Kelly, I think, is the only one who does a cannonball comparable to you that does the same amount of damage and lands with that same kind of pinpoint accuracy. Um, but at the end, this ended up, I believe, going to a time limit draw,
Yeah, so
where
yeah.
um, both teams ended up just with 1 point. And I got to say, you very, very, very sore winner. I mean, she was
Yeah.
technically a winner out of this, but you could tell there was a distinct, almost, I feel like 7 Up thought that they had this in the bag, and the way they were reacting afterwards, slapping Mirai in the face and everything, was very like, we should have won this, to me. And to be honest, like, I felt that it added to the dynamic of the match. But I just want to shout out Mirai. Every slap that she took, she did not falter. She did not step back. She did not back down. It was almost like every time you slapped her, she was just going, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Just
Yeah.
just defiant and not willing to back down, not willing to essentially show weakness to these powerful vets. This match was very emotional, I felt, and very, very tense. I loved it. I thought it was a great match. Andre, what do you think?
The biggest takeaway for me of this is the second time limit draw in 3 nights. Usually you see one, maybe two in through an entire tournament. We've already seen two in the first 3 nights of the tournament. So I like that the bookers are looking at these things like maybe these draws are they might be more common going forward in this tournament. I am very okay with that.
It adds a new sense of variety and excitement because, like you mentioned in before, it adds this, like, it could end at any point in time and in any way, and it could be a shocker. I love it.
Yeah, very much so. So we move on to my pick of the evening, and that is the new Wild Venus. Because there's a question mark there now, ladies and gentlemen.
Head tilt
And
is necessary for it.
because Mina Shirakawa's jaw got broken on the November 3rd show, facing off with Saya Kamatani for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. So she is out for the foreseeable future. I don't think it hasn't been stated that she is permanently replaced by Waka Tsukiyama, but she is being, but she, yeah, whatever the name is. Waka is in her place to team with Saki, so they don't have to forfeit the rest of the tournament. But we will see if Mina Shirakawa does get to return at some point within this tournament, depending on how well she can come back from the broken jaw, how long it will take her to heal. But this match was absolutely wonderful. Waka showing up like, again, younger in her career, but she's showing up like she like so good. Hazuki hits a beautiful MX into a crossface, but Saki did get the ropes on that one. But again, a beautiful transition from the MX into the crossface. I love the transitions from Hazuki. She's so good. Waka ended up did get the Liv Morgan flatliner thing out of the ropes to Hazuki, and then got this beautiful second rope drop kick, and then Saki in with this beautiful knee to the head of Hazuki, and then Waka getting this like straight jacket pull down slam on Hazuki and getting a 2 out of that. It's just like the beautiful flow of sequences from both these teams. Just everything is so smooth. And then like Waka getting this beautiful tiger suplex in the match, but only getting a 2 out of it. But just the Hazuki backstabber into the Koguma DDT again. These beautiful flow of how these girls work together. Both of these teams, especially with Waka and Saki, being that they both come in here not having teamed together before, where Saki and Mina are regular tag team partners. Waka is new, and the fact that they can flow together. Hazuki, a beautiful Michinoku driver on Waka, but only gets 2. But the finish of the match did come with the off the shoulder cutter from Cog off the shoulder of Hazuki to Waka, and then the delayed brainbuster by Hazuki did get SWC the win and another 2 points.
And what a beautiful brainbuster that Hazuki is able to pull off. I believe we praised the heck out of her during the Grand Prix for how beautiful it is. We can't not praise it now. It's still one of the most picture perfect brainbusters I think I've ever seen, not just in women's wrestling, but in men's. To go back to what you said about Mina Shirakawa, this is the danger of the Phoenix Splash. That's all I'm going to say about that. We saw what it did to Ibushi. Now we see what it's done to Mina's face. Please be careful when you're jumping off your stuff, guys. But one thing that I mentioned that I really, really enjoyed about this match in particular was the almost mother-daughter vibe that I was getting out of Waka and Saki. How Waka was almost not having quite enough momentum or power to be able to pull off her moves. She'd get into it and Saki would run up and like push her to complete the move. I thought it was very endearing, very sweet, and it did show that unity and that kind of flowability of Waka and Saki despite their lack of usual tagmanship. So this match was very, very good, very fun, very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. Good pick.
And then the final Goddess match of the night for the November 5th show is Mafia Bella's Giulia and Thekla from Dynamite taking on Karate Braves, Syuri and Tomoka Inaba from God's Eye. The finish of this match did come with Syuri almost for the flapjack into it and drop down into a knee strike to the face of Thekla by Inaba. And then sad to say that Syuri hit a very sloppily looking, as I call it, an Embroflosion, which is this side drop slam for the win. It just, my opinion, if you do a move looking that loose, and it kind of, I would have redone and maybe picked her up and hit her with something else to finish it, because it's just, to me, I saw her do it and I'm like, oh, that's the finish? Okay. Again, I have some issues with Karate Brave. I don't dislike them. I have issues with both. I'll get to it. I will be talking about them from the November 6th show. I will talk about a couple things I have with that team and some stuff I do really love about that team. So yeah. And so we are going to move on to the November 6th show. And I'm going to give you there was no card drop updates. I'll just give you a full update after the number 6 show when they did drop a card. Did start out with the first of the 3 matches on this night for the Red Goddesses and for the Goddess Tag Team Tournament is the Red Goddess division. It's my fair lady, Lady C, and my Sakurai taking on Mafia Bella's Giulia and Thekla. And do be aware that my Sakurai is a part of Dawn of the Mundo that Giulia and Thekla are part of. There is a beautiful spot where Thekla, the end came when Thekla did the Matrix bend back and dodged the clothesline, then hit this very nice spear, and then transitioned it into her submission. It's really hard to describe, but it's like almost like a leg crucifix with the arms pulling on the head, called the Kumo Garami. And my Sakurai had no choice but to tap out. And the biggest factor is you have Thekla tapping out her stablemate here. But after the match, Giulia and Thekla each separately hugged my Sakurai, saying they're all cool and we're friends. So that was the biggest takeaway at the end there.
I have to say everything you said right there, I agree with and would have said myself. The only thing that I would add to that is, despite the lack of unity happening between my Sakurai and Lady C, this was the most unified that they did seem so far.
Yeah, so far.
We've seen them.
They weren't fighting like their first match.
Exactly. So that's a step up. We're going to take that baby step as a victory.
Very much so. Very much so. But from here, we move on to Mel's pick, the second of the 3 goddess matches of the night. And it is Mel's pick. It is BMI 2000's Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. Words do not work for me. From Away the Tide, taking on FWC's Hazuki and Koguma from Stars. And this is, I think, the 3rd or 4th show in a row that FWC is on.
Correct. You are correct about that. Yeah. Same with Mafia Bella, I believe, also.
Yeah. So you're seeing teams that haven't even competed yet, and yet you're seeing teams already 4 matches in after 4 nights. So we're going to think you're going to start to see them space out over the rest of the tournament.
Correct. And this match, man, what a match. As I mentioned earlier, there's obviously a lot of tension. And Natsuko Tora clearly messed some ish up before she got injured and came back. Since she has come back, there seems to be a lot more people who have problems with her than a lot more people who don't have problems with her. Hazuki not even acknowledging her intro, just standing in the corner staring at her. Even in the worst situation, Hazuki will still come up, do her little gun thing, and she's happy. She was not having it tonight. This was a no-nonsense match for her. Koguma's still happy doing her thing. She was doing her best. She was doing her best to be that happy, positive person in this match. But when you're going against a Oedo Tai, you can't do that. You have to come in full seriousness. Hazuki, when she finally got in against Tora, shot for shot, just standing toe to toe for her, going. These girls clearly have a history. I enjoyed this tag match, and I know Natsuko Tora has her issues with Utami. When she is done with Utami, though, I would love to see her and Hazuki get into the ring and have a showdown to figure out whatever issues they are having, because that seems like some tension I would love to get in on. Koguma, again, an absolute trooper, doing everything she can to help her team. Very unfortunate that she missed that dive to the outside, which only took out Hazuki instead of Ruaka and Tora. Unfortunately, I think we have the other members of Oedo Tai to kind of sort of thank for that. This allowed Tora to get the upper hand on Koguma and get the swanton on her before pinning her. This match was a fun match, though, from start to finish. Again, BMI making a statement with these girls. They may have struggled a little bit more with them, but FWC are the tournament winners from last year. They are former Goddess of Stardom champions. They shouldn't have gone into the match thinking that it would be just a walk in the park. Andre, what do you think?
Yeah, honestly, you could see how much BMI 2000 and is dominating in this thing so far, and why they're one of my front runners to win the Blue Goddess division. And just some of the power you see out of these ladies is absolutely phenomenal. But the end there, when was it Tora hit almost like an FU like a sit out FU, and Ruaka hit the tree slam. Then they both go up to the top, and Ruaka hitting like the splash, and Tora hitting the swanton to get that finish. It's just that pure dominance of a finish that both these women are dominating both their opponents to win this match.
I am just waiting for them to finally show down with 7-Up. That is going to be a battle of the powerhouses for sure, and a battle of dominance.
That's going to be an insane match, I think, coming forward. But we do move on to the final match on the November 6th show, and that is my pick of the current Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions, Melter, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano from Cosmic Angels, taking on the team of Karate Brave, Syuri, and Tomoka Inaba from God's Eye. And again, I have issues with Karate Brave, but I still think they're phenomenal. I'm not a huge fan of Syuri. Her style to me leaves something to be desired. And with Inaba here, they're really doubling down on the karate stuff. And it just makes me cringe. Yeah, the karate off the top, okay, whatever. I'm just like, you can show me karate during your entrance. Great. Show me karate. But when you're each grabbing somebody with an arm and then like the hammer fist to the back are one thing. I can believe. But when then you step back and both go, Kiyan, karate chop somebody in the back, that's where I go. But yeah, this is the note where this is where I made the note. Tam and Naka are legitimately the cutest tag team going, because like just look at their faces. You can't help but love the two of them, and it's just yeah. But like overall, this like after the karate stuff at the beginning, I really thought this match really picked up. Melter does this beautiful double spin kick into double cartwheels into double drop kicks to Inaba, and then hit a double flip neck breaker to Inaba. Like just the cohesion these two have is so good. And then there is this really cool spot by Inaba that I've never seen before. She picks her up, she picked up Tam, goes for this like scoop slam, but then just kind of lets her go right here and just lifts the knee up. It was like a scoop slam GTS. I thought it was quite inventive because I've never seen somebody do a move like a scoop slam into like a GTS style knee. I was really, really liking that. And then just so much good stuff. Tam Nakano getting a beautiful RKO on Syuri, putting her down, and then just like cartwheel, and there's a cartwheel into this double knee drop to the back. It's the smoothness of all of them. The kicks that come off of Syuri, I can't fault her because her kicks are insanely powerful. That's the karate I want to see, is those kicks, because she just kicks the living hell out of you and almost knocks you out every time she kicks you. But it's crazy. The end of this match does come where Natsupoi and Tam Nakano both hit German suplexes on both members of Karate Brave, and then Tam hit bridges Inaba with her German suplex, only gets the two, but then she immediately transitions it and gets the bridging tiger suplex and pins Inaba to get the win. And so Melter picking up 2 points here. And afterwards, they got on the mic, and Tom says they got their first points in the tag this year, says they were ranked the number one team regardless of gender. I do want to figure out where they were ranked the number one team regardless of gender. I'm there's maybe one team, maybe the Usos are the only team I can rival that seem to me as good as these two. And it says it's awesome to be the best in the universe. And then Natsupoi says that they will win the tag league and welcome to the revolution.
Yeah, I don't have very much to add to that, Andre, except for to go back to that Matrix-esque kind of style that he mentions with Thekla. There was one point where Tam did the exact same thing, which fed into the cutters. Like she bent and then just stepped forward.
Yeah, I missed that. I didn't read that on my notes. Yeah. I apologize, but
no, utterly incredible to see. Just something that you guys definitely want to check out. But also, you mentioned Syuri's kicks. There was one point in this match where Natsupoi was sitting on the ground, and Syuri did feed her a kick to the back. I'm fairly certain that we saw Natsupoi's soul exit her body and re-enter it again. Do not mess with these kicks. They're lethal. They're dangerous. But yeah, overall, this match was absolutely incredible. Yeah, I've got nothing else to add to that.
So I'm going to bring up the standings after night 4. I'm going to go over them quickly here. In the Red Goddess division, you have Mafia Bellas with 4 points alone on top. Then you have Karate Brave in second place with 3 points after a win and a draw. Then you have Aphrodite, We Love Tokyo Sports, and Meltier all with 2 points. And then you have Black Desire with 1 point after their draw. Then you have Peatrock, who I do think aren't quite in last place in my opinion because they have not competed yet. And then you have My Fair Lady in last place with 0 points and 2 losses. And then you go on to the Blue Goddess side, and then you have BMI 2000 and FWC both with 4 points at the top of the division. Then you have 7-Up with 3 points, My Hemi with 2, Qual Venus with the Qual Venus with 2, O2 Line with 2, and then New Eras with 1, and Wingori alone in last place with 0 points. But again, they're like, I think I have a feeling like who I think could win, who's going to win this divisions. I think it's for me personally, I think it's going to be BMI for the Blue Goddess, and I think it's still kind of open for the Red Goddess. I think a team like Aphrodite or even Melter, who are the champions, can easily come out of this as the winners of the Blue Goddess, of the Red Goddess side, and then they will face off with whoever wins the Blue Goddess to determine who will win the tag league.
It's funny because isn't this kind of how it started out with the 5-star Grand Prix? Also, it was pretty obvious, seemingly.
We were thinking it was Suzuki early on.
Yeah, and immediately we were thinking in the blue zone, and it was Hazuki right away. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how they're playing this. The tournament so far is incredible.
And you got to remember, a lot of these teams have 3 or 4 matches already under their belts. A team like Peatrock has yet to compete. Yes, I know Momo Kogo is part of the team, but she's teaming with Mayu Iwatani. There is a very good chance they have yet to compete after 4 nights. They're very much getting the Tom Lawler on this one. If you remember from the G1, he didn't compete till night 6.
No shorts.
Well, let's not go there. But but they have a shot because they have yet to get into the matches, so they have every chance to come back. So you got to see these teams with only 1 match before or 2 matches have these wide open chances, where these teams with 4 and 3 matches already have they're kind of sitting where they're going to sit most likely. So it's anybody's game for that.
100%. I agree with you 100%.
So before we go on to our thing, I do want to give a big shout out to Rogue Energy for sponsoring our show. Scan the QR code there in the bottom right corner where Mel's kind of pointing to, and you can use OLE pods to get 10% off your order. I've got my as I like to call it, the Mina Shaker Kawa bottle right here that we did get from Rogue Energy, and they have wonderful stuff. All their stuff is very, very tasty, and I know they are doing cans now, so you can order cans from Rogue Energy.
And we should be getting our samples of those very soon. We're each getting a can of each flavor. I'm very excited to try those.
I'm excited. And we will be back on the OLE, our local establishment Twitch channel on Sunday, November 20th at 3 a.m. Eastern. And because we will be watching the Stardom and New Japan show, historic crossover, and it's going to be, and I think that night is going to, for both of us, is going to be fueled by Rogue Energy. I'm pretty sure
it's going to need it because we are going to be going live, I think at 1 a.m. Mountain Time.
1 a.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and this show is probably going to be at least 2 to 3, possibly 4
Well,
hours.
it's going to be the pre-show starts at 1 a.m. and main show starts at 2. So remember last time you and me did one, we were on from 2 a.m. till 6 a.m. So it's very possible we could be going for 5 hours here, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you are a night owl and you want to hang out throughout the night, please join us. It's going to be a great time. And so the pre-show will be was live on YouTube the last time I watched it. So I'm pretty sure it will be live on YouTube again. So you will be able to watch this match, which is the young Lions / recently graduated Young Lions match of Oscar Lube, Kosei Fujita, Ryohei Oiwa and Yuto Nakashima taking from the New Japan Dojo, taking on the LA Dojo's graduates of Kevin Knight, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, and Clark Connors.
So good. So good.
Again, I look forward to seeing this match because it's a match that's all about the future.
100%.
And then right here is a very odd graphic for you, but it is for the Stardom Rambo. And that is a Stardom Royal Rumble style match that will be on the pre-show. So if you want to see a bunch of different women from Stardom competing in a Royal Rumble style match, you can check this out on the pre-show, which I'm pretty sure will be free either on New Japan World itself or on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. We will get more information out to you over the week. I will be sharing that information out. But the main card itself does start with the New Japan proper debut of Lio Rush teaming with his tag team partner, which will be his tag team partner in this Super Junior Tag League, Yo, and Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii taking on House of Torture.
I mean, I look forward. I've been enjoying the little Spitfire fights between Yo and Sho. This is probably just going to be a House of Torture match, though.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think that was more of a preview for Super Junior Tag League, is what we're going to see with some teams in there. But then you've got a match between Queen's Quest and Donna Del Mundo, baby. You got Lady C, Azumi, and Saya Kamatani representing Queen's Quest, taking on Mai Sakurai, Thekla, and Himeka from Donna Del Mundo. I am excited for this one. I really, really am.
You really can't get much better for the combinations of this. You know, you got Lady C and Mai Sakurai, who are teaming together for the Goddess of Stardom tournament, now facing off each other in their respective, factions. We've seen how Azumi and Thekla can show down towards each other, both high-speed women. And we know what Thekla's capable of. We know what Azumi is capable of. That's going to be incredible. But Saya Kamitani and Himeka, I mean, we've seen a couple of their matches.
Of Himeka, man.
This is going to be great. Incredible.
Yeah, a six-woman match I am so excited for. And then you have, we don't know if it's intergender or just a mixed tag match. We do not know yet. But it is the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tom Lawler and Syuri taking on one of my two of my favorites in the world, in Giulia and Zack Sabre Jr. I am super excited for this match.
I feel you used like 3 too many wonderfuls there to describe Tom Lawler. I am honestly, I'm very confused about this match, but I'm also very excited because how insanely cool would it be to see Syuri get down and kick the crap out of Zack Sabre Jr., but equally, how cool would it be to watch Giulia slap the crap out of Tom Lawler? I mean,
you never know.
Will have to tag in and the men tag in, or will it be free for all? I'd personally like to see a free for all.
Well, we will see, because I'd like to see Syuri wrestle with Zack Sabre Jr. I would love to see that. Ooh. And then you have another, again, do not know if it's intergender or mixed tag. You have Natsupoi and Tam Nakano Meltear, the current Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions, teaming up with Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Taichi to take on Black Desires, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid, teaming up with the other half of Suzuki Gun in Doki and El Desperado. We got tag team partners in El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru fighting each other. We have faction mates fighting each other. Man, this match can be pandemonium.
Oh yes, I expect it. And thank you for correcting your pronunciation on the name there. I appreciate that.
Oh, sorry. The giant pile of Dookie.
No. You don't get to take it back. You corrected it already. You are right, though. It is odd to see the separation of Kanemaru and El Desperado, especially because they've been such a staple in the junior tag division for so long. That being said, Desperado kind of has been off doing his own thing since he did become the double champion, having both the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion and the IWGP Tag Junior Champion. He has been almost, I don't want to say leaving Yoshinobu a little behind, but his popularity, I would say, is a little bit more above Kanemaru. That's not to take away from Kanemaru. I'm sure he helps with whiskey sales.
And the interesting part is actually Yoshinobu Kanemaru will be tagging with Dookie in the Super Junior Tag League. So that's another thing of two potential two people who are about to partner with each other are going to face each other. So how will this influence Tag League? That's a big one in Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Doki. Keep switching back and forth to be nice.
Expect the animosity happening between Cosmic Angels and Oedo Tai. That in itself is
that's just a pure feud, as it always is.
Absolutely.
And then we move on to what we're going to call the Aces versus the Samurais. You have the Aces in Hiroshi Tanahashi and Itami Hayashishita taking on the Samurais of Maika and Hiroki Goto.
Like 4 of my all-time favorites in both companies. This match has so much potential. We have 4 super creative, super innovative, super entertaining wrestlers in all 4 of these performers. I have nothing but high expectations for this match.
Yeah, me too. And then you have a special 10-man tag of LIJ taking on United Empire. Crowns up for the United Empire, baby. They're going to win it. We all know it.
I'm still a fan. But I love me some LIJ.
I guess I'm gonna have to try and get our special guest that we're gonna have with us to cheer for the United Empire. Let's go, Crowns up.
You're gonna try to sway her, huh? I mean,
I'm gonna try.
Francesco Akira is Italian and could woo her in Italian. That might get her.
That being said,
though, she might want to eat some spicy noodles and ramen with Hiromu Takahashi.
You never know. And then the big, I will call this the big feature match on the show, or the big special attraction match of anything, is the final New Japan Pro Wrestling match of the Great Muta, teaming with Toriana and the kind of the new ace of New Japan in Kazuchika Okada, taking on the United Empire's Great O'Khan and Aaron Hanari, who will be teaming in the tag league, and their partner Jeff Cobb. I'm absolutely looking forward to this, just to see Great Muta one more time in a New Japan ring.
I love that you said Toruyana. I love it. But you're absolutely right. This is going to be an incredible match. This arguably one of, I believe he said, this is his last New Japan.
Yeah, it's his final New Japan on the way to his final match, I think in January or February, that's going to involve Sting. So,
That makes me sad, but also makes me happy. I would have liked to see Sonata maybe involved in that, because he does have a history with Sonata. However, I'm not mad about the Great O'Khan being his focal point, because the Great O'Khan is arguably kind of the future of what's kind of going on. He is almost the kind of future Great Muta in his over-the-top character. So I think this is going to be an incredible match.
I think so too. And then we move on to our semi-main event of the evening, a match I am a rematch I am so excited for. And it is the challenger Shota Umino taking on, legitimately, to me personally, the best professional wrestler, crowns up in New Japan Pro Wrestling today, even I think in the world, and that is the United States champion Will Ospreay. This match is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I gotta give props to Will Ospreay. He made himself relevant in the most awkward time of professional wrestling, arguably, which is the COVID-19 kind of 2020 to 2022 kind of time. He not only made himself relevant through injuries and sickness and major health catastrophes, but he stayed relevant. Most people nowadays, even if you don't know professional wrestling, the name Will Ospreay sounds familiar. He has been seen here, there, and everywhere. He's traveled the world. He's made his name known. I can't argue with you when you say he is arguably one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. He's showing it. He's keeping himself on that high level consistently with his performability, with his ability to wrestle, and with his big freaking mouth. So this match is going to be utterly insane, because Shooter, for how quiet he is, again, the professional wrestling world knows who Shota Umino is. Their match at Royal Crest was incredible. This is going to be great.
I think that's just another step for Will Ospreay to take. He's going to smush down Shota Umino, is my prediction, on his way to Wrestle Kingdom. I think he's going to be taking on Kenny Omega. I really think it's going to happen. You never know. That's what I'm calling.
That bridge when we get to it.
That's what I'm calling for. But the main event of historic crossover, it's going to be to crown the historic first ever IWGP Women's Champion, and that is the former SWA champion Miyu Iwatani and the former multiple Stardom World Wonder, every other title in Stardom, international superstar. You know her from NXT and WWE. She is Kairi, and it's going to be one hell of a main event, and I'm so happy they made it the main event.
Absolutely. I mean, and how awesome and historic is it? The women are main eventing this show. Absolutely incredible. So proud of them. This match is going to be off the chain, though. This is going to be um,
Off
like
the chain.
I have to say, Mayu Iwatani, she's got that. We've mentioned it before. That just reckless disregard for her own safety. Very similar, and I compare it to Kota Ibushi. We know the incredible shows that Kota Ibushi can put on. We know the incredible shows that Mayu Iwatani can put on. But then that just utterly incredible, non back down mentality and just strong style of Kyrie going against Mayu, it's going to be like a brick wall hitting an immovable object. They're just going to have an incredible banger of a match. This is going to be absolutely insane.
Oh, it definitely will. I am so excited for that. But join us at 3 a.m. Eastern on the Our Local Establishment Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Our Local Establishment. You can check us out there, and we will be live streaming it at 3 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to bring it up one more time just so you can see it in a big old window. Twitch.tv, I guess that blocks it out there, but twitch.tv/Our Local Establishment. And check us out, and we will be tweeting this out over the week, and we will be sharing it out to get everybody. Please come in. If you are a night owl, please come and join us. But I know for a lot of you it's hard, but this will be up. The watch along will be up on our YouTube afterwards. So yes, so thank you very much.
As Andre mentioned, we are going to be having a special guest. This special guest has not seen Japanese wrestling in any way, shape, or form. Has been a North American WWE style wrestling fan in the past. This will be her introduction to not only New Japan but to Stardom and to Andre and myself and to you guys. So hopefully you guys stop by, give her a warm welcome, and we'll make the announcement, obviously, as Andre said, sometime during the week beforehand.
And the best part is we're going to be doing it together. That's amazing. We're going to be together, one screen, both myself, Melball, and our special guest. I am excited. I can't wait to watch this with you in person because it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful
we can
show.
crowns up in person.
Heck yeah, baby. Up, baby. But yeah, I want to thank, before we go, Backbreaker Video, Mike the Ref, thank you so much for everything you've done for us and for simulcasting all their videos. We appreciate you. You might be watching us right now on Backbreaker Video. Thank you so much. Please check us out at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk on YouTube, or if you're watching it on our Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk on YouTube, please go check out Backbreaker Video. He does such a wonderful job. All the video game stuff he does. He's always on his Twitch at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. Playing video games. I know I was with him last night for a little bit during our friend's live stream for charity. He was doing it, and he was focusing everybody to the link for his live stream charity. And on the same day this show comes out, November 16th, please check out Mike. Will be doing a 12-hour live stream Twitch show where he'll be raising money for jack.org. So please check that out at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. And he will be playing video games all day. And he will also, it's from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. From 6 to 8, he will be doing his regular Dynamite watch along. And then I know me and him were talking about it last night. It's going to be capping off with a Mario Kart finish. So come check it out. I will be playing with him, and he's going to have the Discord up. So come check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
And we will leave the link to that in the description box below for your convenience to get to very quickly and easily. So that being said, if you also wanted to watch either Stardom or New Japan, we will leave the links in the description box below. You just go to www.newjapanworld.com or www.stardom.com. It's 920 yen, or approximately $10 Canadian or American, depending on where your currency is. You might get it for cheaper than us. But highly worth checking it out. Again, definitely go to the NJPW site if you're interested in seeing those World World TV title matches. Those are all free to take in, give you a little taste of what you're getting into before you take that plunge to subscribe. And then again, Andre, Twitter, where can we find you?
At that Canada guy on Twitter, at that Canada dude on Instagram, and you can check us out on YouTube at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. And then for one more thing, Rogue Energy Baby, scan the QR code down in the bottom. Code OLE Pods for 10% off your order. Mel, where can we find you online?
So on Twitter, you can find your Melball at Collins Melball on Twitter, and then on Instagram at Melball Collins. You can also find me on Facebook at Melball Collins, and also Andre and I have our Facebook fan site that is also Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk. It's where we post all of the links for all of our shorts, our full feature links, all of our announcements, and general conversation. So come join in the conversation there. And that being said, Andre, if you don't have anything else to add, I think we are finally wrapping up this Stardom review. We're going to shout out our beautiful and talented natural Astrid. You want to go check out her YouTube also for some extra wrestling goodies there you don't want to miss out on. So that being said, I am your Melball. That is your Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.